This video is part of the 5 under $5 open playlist, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on in the video. Project number 1, inspired by Let It Snow. So while I like the sentiment, and I truly believe home is where my cat is, I got this blank, or this sign, because I like the shape of it. So we're going to pry off the borders there, and we're going to make this into a Christmas sign. Pretty much an easy painting job, really. Now, I was able to tear the paper off, so I just went for it. But I left it. I didn't cover it or anything. I kind of liked how it looked, actually. So got all the paper off there. I'm going to flip it over and work on the back. First, I pulled off the jute hanger because I'm going to replace that with some ribbon. And I just used my little tools here to try and pull up as much as I could. I put some lightweight spackle in the areas there where the staple had dug into the wood. Waited for that to dry, and then I sanded it down so that when I paint it, it's not noticeable that something was there before. So I tapped out some of this blue chalk paint, and I'm going to give the whole sign a good heavy coat. A lot of times I spray some water in my paint because I like it a little, I like it not as thick, but for this particular use, I want a good thick coat because we're going to stencil on it. And I just, I want everything to come out bright and sharp. So we get that whole thing covered and we let it sit for a good while, at least an hour or so. I actually set it aside and worked on some other projects. And there we go. So I got so excited I actually forgot to press record. But I have already done the snowman here, and I just placed him in the bottom corner because that's where I wanted him. You don't have to do it exactly like it is in the stencil. And so I dabbed that white chalk paint on, but I mixed it with a little bit of baking soda first. Then I dabbed it on, and then I let it dry before I worked on the words. I did a lot of figuring out how much space those words would take up, and I was able to squeeze them in just in that corner there, across from the snowman. And then I came back with some random snowflakes. And again, you don't have to do it like it is in the stencil. Just do it till your eyes are happy. So I just put down some random snowflakes. I had very little issues with bleeding, but I did have a couple spots where some white paint got into the blue, so I came back with more blue paint to fix that. And then I happen to have this blue ribbon in my stash that almost perfectly matches the blue that I used for the background. So I'm just going to hot glue that on the back, and this project's going to be pretty much finished. It cost, let's say $1.25 for the sign, and the rest of the things were in my stash. So just pressing down the glue, and I remembered to use my finger protectors, and better look at the final result. So I partnered with the Amazon seller of ASOKO LED under cabinet lighting. It's also referred to as closet lighting and several other names, but this is the unboxing. they put the smaller box inside a larger box. And I want to start out by saying that I highly recommend this product. This is what it looks like when I open the box. The only thing was the image you found on the front of the box made it seem like there was 2 lights when there's really only 1. But these are the accessories. We have these 3M metal stickers because the light is magnetic. So you install it by putting those stickers on the wall. And you just need 2. They give you 4, but you just need 2. And it just sticks on the little stickers on the wall. It's got this little thing that explains how to do returns, and then it's got this little flyer that tells you how to use it, and it's so easy. You charge it with a USB charger, and then there's 3 options on the switch. There's off, on, and auto. And auto is the motion sensor aspect of the lighting. And I'm going to show you how that works. It's also dimmable. There's a button on the front when it's on that you just do a long press on it and it goes down and up. I'm just sitting here playing with it. I just think it's so cool that it's not hardwired, you know, or plugged in. Once you charge it, you can unplug the USB charging wire and it's just sitting there. And ta-da! I had to show you that because I accidentally did that where I put it on auto illuminate, opened the box, and it turned on. And then here I am walking into my room, and there's the light. I actually put it on my headboard because it's metal. And more information is in my description box below. Project number 2, inspired by I'll Be Home for Christmas. So we have green chalk paint, green glitter, and this cute little home sign with the candle in it. It's been in my stash for a little bit. I thought this would be an easy little piece of decor. I just had to repair it a little bit. They have some little pieces of wood to brace it, so to create that space where the candle goes. So I'm just gonna fix that up and then pour out some green chalk paint. Now when the paint is still wet, I'm gonna cover the whole area with the green glitter. And I'm just going to keep doing that. Putting it on there right away. Tapping it off. And then moving on to the next one. And the glitter, I believe, was purchased at Dollar Tree as well. I decided to paint the back of this little standing sign with green, but no glitter, just to give it a finished look. Then I grabbed some of these leaves and berries that I got from Habitat for Humanity Restore. And just kind of poked them in there and put a little bit of glue on the back of the leaf. And I put in another leaf there as well. And then I made a bow, just like I make all my bows by making the awareness shape, scrunching in the middle. And then I have that red suede rope that comes from Grace's stash. And I wrap the middle of the bow with that. I'm making a little stick here with some glitter on it as well, and that's going to hold the bow so the bow doesn't completely obstruct the letter H. So I scraped off a little bit of the glitter there because I was worried about gluing it. But it actually came out pretty good. Just hot glue. I held the bow on, and then a little more hot glue to hold the stick. And there it is. I'm going to play around with the fullness of the bow there. And do some dovetailing. And then once I'm happy, you can see it here. Oh, I had to fix it a little bit. More glitter. And there we go, guys. Inspired by I'll Be Home for Christmas. More looks in the final reveal. Project number 3, inspired by Happy Holidays. So I'm going to use some red chalk paint and some burnt umber acrylic paint. Now, if you like red and you want it to pop, don't do the burnt umber. I learned that the hard way, but I'll show you how I fixed it. So the first thing I did was rub the burnt umber all over the inside of this wood blank or sign blank, and I also did the border. And I do that a lot because I think it makes the wood look like richer and more expensive. Now this stencil did not fit inside this sign, so I cut it. I save the pieces. If I want to do a full stencil on something else, then I can just tape it back together. But I could not think of any other way to get the stencil to fit flat. So I just cut off those little strips on the edges and set them aside. Now, for this first part of the stencil, I'm doing the snowflakes. And I did not mix the paint with the baking soda. And I definitely had more bleeding than usual. So I'm thinking the Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint isn't as thick as the Waverly or the folk art. So this is the red chalk paint, and I am blissfully creating this really cool ornament made with the words Happy Holidays. And while the stencil was still down, I came in with the Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint, and you'll see I didn't mix it up. I'm doing it straight from the container, and that's not good. But, you know, live and learn. And what I did to make it less noticeable is covered it in sparkles. I applied some glitter. I thought it made it so there was less attention paid to how thick the snowflakes were. There's the reveal. And I looked at the ornament and I was like, this is not good. Well, let's fix the snowflakes. So we get the glitter on there, and I really like how that turned out. But it made the ornament look even worse. So tapping the glitter out. My daughter came over for dinner this night, and I proudly presented it to her, and she was like, oh, you cannot read that. No, that's not good. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to make red the shadow, and I'll just paint over it with white. So I didn't record me putting the ribbon on the top there. It's just a red and white ribbon that I had in my stash, and I replaced the jute with the ribbon like in the previous project. So here I come with my nice thick linen white chalk paint mixed with baking soda, and it comes on so easy, nice and thick. So even if you have too much, it still works out okay. So there's the reveal. And it's not 100%, but I like it. And better look at the final reveal. Okay, jumping in with a little more information about the playlist. It's the 5 Under 5 playlist, happens every month on the 5th. This one's theme is Christmas song inspired DIYs. So 5 projects that cost under $5 to make. Missy has stepped away for church and family, And our host is Emily from Farm Time Chic and Lisa from Levin's the Life. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the video. Project number 4, inspired by Joy to the World. Another easy one, guys. Another $1.25 one. Taking this Happy Fall sign, getting it out of the plastic, and then I'm going to tape off the inside edges so I can paint the inside red. Now, I've lost my red chalk paint at this point. I find it after this project. But I had this red acrylic paint that I added some water to and gave it a good shake and managed to get a blob out. Put a little bit more water in there, stirred it up with my paintbrush, and I was finally able to get some red paint down to cover up the fall sentiment. Now I'm showing you the first coat, but actually probably took about 4 coats until I couldn't see, you know, the letters and the design. So fast forward, I cut out the Joy letters from my poster board letter sheet that I purchased at the Dollar Tree. I'm just sort of randomly putting them down and then having a look at them, and then I'll adjust them as needed. I did, you know, a lot of figuring out using sticks, using sticks to see if it was, you know, even on the bottom and stuff. Now I'm coming in with the Rust-Oleum Linen White chalk paint, and I added baking soda like in the other projects. I kind of tapped the paint around the word joy, and then I used a foam dabber to dab the paint over the letters. I liked the texture that the dabber put down, so I didn't want to swipe the brush across it. There are some red areas that I tried to fix, and unbeknownst to me, the red in the corners was actually still damp when the red in the square was like fine. So, you know, I tried fixing it here and it started turning a little bit pink, so I stopped. I'm just going to take the letters off. I used that little pokey tool there to just lift up a small corner, and then I come in with my fingers and pull the letter off. And they're a little sticky still. There. I think it came out really well. So I was gonna fix the border there, but I think I actually just left it. So here I'm working on the bow. I was just gonna do that really pretty sort of transparent silvery bow there, but I kind of like the idea of having red behind it. So I made 2 bows the same way, making the awareness shape, cinching it in the middle, and then pulling it, wrapping it with some jute and pulling it tight and knotting it in the back. And I believe I used the red suede cord for this one. And actually tied them together first and then hot glued them to the frame. Now, full disclosure, this fell right off. And then I went back and sanded the frame and glued it back on again. I didn't bother dovetailing because there really wasn't room. So a couple more looks at the final reveal. And we've made it to project number 5. It's inspired by Angels We Have Heard on High. And the idea to use the styrofoam cone came from Tasha at Sunflower Tasha DIY. I'm showing you the supplies for this one. We got the cone and got some white burlap from Walmart. The cone's from Dollar Tree. The bells are on a door ringer, I think it's called, that I got at Dollar Tree. I got some rope from Temu. So This one, it's kind of hard to figure it out, but it's probably $1.25 plus a couple more dollars for the odds and ends. The lace was a scrap from an old linen lingerie bag. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so maybe $3. Let's say $3. So I wrapped the lace around the cone and trimmed it to size. I used my hot glue gun and just ran a bead top to bottom right underneath the fabric. Then I folded it over and ran another bead to finish it. Now I trimmed the bottom and the top. I trimmed the bottom because it's going to be glued onto a wood round, because the foam cone is, styrofoam cone is really light and falls over easily. On the top there, I glued the fabric a little bit, but I left room to smush this ornament down. So I turned the ornament upside down. I dug out a little bit of styrofoam and then just pushed it down. Now the wood round, I don't know if I showed rubbing the burnt umber paint on it, but I did that to make it look a little bit more high-end. Then I put down some wood glue in the middle and hot glue around that. And sorry for the noise there. I usually get rid of my background noise, but I guess I forgot. So there's my bells. And it's really hard. I couldn't pull it off, so I actually had to take my scissors and get as close to the bell as possible. But then I had to glue on the arms first, because she's going to be holding the bell. So again, I just used some hot glue and trimmed that rope for her arms. And the rope sort of had a natural curve into it, which made the arms come around from the back. Pretty nice. And now, I've been dying to use this sort of cream colored burlap, white burlap. I got it at Walmart a long time ago, and I just have wanted to use it, and it just hasn't been right. So I'm going to scrunch it in the middle like you would with a bow. And then I'm going to wrap some twine around it just like you would with a bow. But I'm just going to leave it as is. And the scrunching is going to make the bow nice and stiff. And it's going to make it the perfect wings for my angel. And notice I'm making sure it's nice and tight there. All right, I'm just going to put some glue right where the arms start on the back. And I'm going to glue the wings right on top of the rope there. Now get that bell in there, so she's holding her bell. And I forgot the halo, but I think she looks pretty. And I'll give you some more looks at her during the final reveal.